Measure Codes has been a favourite feature for thousands of Trimble Access customers around the globe for many years. Anyone that codes the points they measure can use Measure Codes to make changing codes and measuring a point a one-step process. The Trimble Access 2019 CAD tutorial video shows how to use the CAD toolbar to create line work in conjunction with Measure Codes. What I want to show in this video is the cool enhancements we have made in version 2020 to make setup and use of Measure Codes even easier. For those that don't know Measure Codes, it's pretty simple. It's really just a page of buttons with codes on them. You tap the button and it measures the point, coding it appropriately. With the map displayed alongside Measure Codes, you see the feature-coded line work appearing real-time too. The groups of codes that make up the pages of buttons can be configured in the feature code library in the Office or on the controller. When you run Measure Codes for the first time, you will see this message. At this point, you can either start adding codes to buttons or go to Job Properties and associate a feature code library with your job. Let's quickly add a few codes to buttons and show how easy this is. Having set up Measure Codes, I can just tap Tree to measure and code a tree, and then tap Path to measure and code a path. If your feature code library has code groups already set up, then you don't have to go through this process. When using an FXL, the groups defined in the FXL are used to populate the MCD, the Measure Codes database file. This file stores all the Measure Codes information. If you want to share your Measure Code set up with another controller, share the MCD file. And when using an FXL, share that as well, and they will need to be copied to the Systems folder. You don't have to use feature code libraries, but it sure makes surveying a lot easier, and is necessary if you want feature coded line work in the field. Let's link a feature code library to the job and have a closer look at the Measure Code setup. From the job screen, tap Properties and then Feature Library and select the feature library. You will now see all the groups or pages of code buttons predefined in the FXL. To get into edit mode, tap the pencil icon in the top right corner or tap and hold on any button. In Edit Measure Codes, half the screen emulates what you see when using Measure Codes, the other half shows the options to configure Measure Codes. You can have anywhere from 9 to 25 buttons per page and up to 26 pages of codes. Pages of codes are called groups. To create a new page of codes, tap the New Group button. To view or edit a group, select it in the group list. The Code Button Layout pick list lets you choose how many buttons you see on a page. There are 12 layouts to choose from. In the past, you always had to have the same number of buttons per page, but you can now have, say, 9 buttons in a 3x3 layout on one page, and say 25 buttons in a 5x5 layout on another. On the buttons, you can see numbers. These are shortcut keys. They work best when you have 3 columns of buttons, as the shortcut keys then match with the numeric keypad on the TSC7. The groups also have shortcut keys. A through Z maps to pages 1 through 26. Using physical keys on controllers that have them is sometimes easier than using the touchscreen. With shortcut keys, you can very easily measure a building by pressing D9 and then a gate using L7. These shortcuts become second nature for experienced operators and can really increase productivity. Switching back into edit mode again, let's talk about template pickup. Template pickup is used when you repeat a pattern of codes, for example a road cross-section. Configuring template pickup is really simple. Define the number of elements in the template pickup and direction you want to pick up. Will you always work from left to right, right to left, or will you zigzag across the road? Setting the direction ensures you get the correct code when you start the next template. When a template is enabled, the small template icon is displayed in the top left corner. If there are, say, 5 codes in the template, then there are at least 4 other buttons you could use for other features you might want to pick up on a road, for example a manhole. You can easily measure and code the manhole and then jump straight back into your template. Adding codes to a button is very simple. Tap a blank button and enter the code. You can pick a code from the feature code library or type in a new code. To change a code that has already been set, tap it once to highlight it, then tap it again to edit. To move a highlighted button, use the arrow keys at the bottom of the screen. Use one of the delete options to delete a button, the current group, or all the codes in a group. Setting up Measure Codes could not be any simpler. There are a few more controls and Measure Codes I want to quickly cover too. Tap the Note button to key in a note. To combine two codes, for example to measure a point where there is both a fence and a path, tap the multi-code button and then fence and path and then measure. To add numeric strings to a code, highlight the button and then tap plus. Minus subtracts 1 from the string number. Find finds the next free string. If you use stringing a lot, and especially on tablets, you might find it easy to go into options and clear single tap to measure. When this setting is cleared, a tap on a blank button highlights it, allowing you to set the string number, and a tap on a highlighted button triggers the measurement. That covers pretty much everything you need to know about setting up and using measure codes. And all of this works in the TDC 600 too. Things just have a slightly different layout. For more information, visit the Trimble Access Help portal. Thanks for watching.